Care Bears. I am so excited to be here. I am guest camp counselor Linda from Salty Seattle, and today I'm going to teach you how to make the rainbow out of colorful pasta. Today I'm going to just demonstrate for you two colors, and that'll be yellow and purple. The rest of the colors are all made from vegetables, herbs, and superfoods, just like you'll find out we make the yellow and purple from, but I wanted to do a quick rundown. The red is made from beets, orange is made from things like carrots or roasted red peppers, the yellow we'll get to. The green, you can use virtually any delicious leafy green, something like parsley or kale makes fantastic pasta, but this color in particular is made from parsley because it's nice and bright. The blue comes from these flowers that are native to Southeast Asia called butterfly pea flowers. They're super cool. And the purple we'll get to in just a minute. So for the yellow, we are just going to crack some eggs into the blender first. So pasta is essentially just flour and eggs. Usually, in our case, it's flour and eggs and a color ingredient. But we're going to crack 4 eggs into the blender here, and then we will be mixing those eggs with whole turmeric root. So turmeric root, if you have not seen it before, looks a lot like ginger. Just these right here. They're long. They almost look like big fat fingers or something too. And I like to use the whole fresh turmeric root because it's very healthy and good for you, and also because it has a really vibrant color. So you'll see when I slice into that, it's a really, really pretty, vibrant shade. So I'm just going to add little pieces of turmeric into the blender. So I'm gonna blend this right now. And look, after it is blended, it is nice and bright yellow, just like Funshine Bear. All right, now I am adding my Funshine Yellow puree to 2 1/4 cups of flour, just like that. So to make the purple puree, this time I'm going to use 3 eggs and crack them into the well of the blender. And purple actually comes from some surprising ingredients. So I kind of tried mixing a few different things together until I got just the shade I wanted. So one of those things is beets. This is just some chopped fresh beets. So we have 3 eggs in there, and I'm adding 1/3 cup of chopped fresh beets, and then this is frozen blueberries. And so same thing, about 1/3 cup of frozen blueberries. Now that is what I call Share Bear Purple. So we are just going to add that beautiful, bright purple puree into 2 1/4 cups of flour. All right, now we have our beautiful Funshine Yellow puree and our Share Bear puree, both added to the flour. So kneading is next. I'm gonna start with Funshine here and just give this a really good stir. You actually can do this whole thing right on your counter, but I like to start in a bowl just so that I can get kind of that initial stirring done so that it doesn't make a real big mess. That is ready to come out onto the counter. And so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour down. So whenever you sprinkle flour in pasta making, it's one of the most fun things ever. You can start high and just come right down onto the counter like that. And then we will get all that flour out. Before I touch to try to get this off the spoon with my hand, I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on my hand, and that is just gonna act as sort of a barrier so that I don't get super sticky. So now is where it comes down to really kneading the dough. So I'm gonna kind of pull this into a ball like so, and then I'm going to start kneading it into a ball. And kneading just means using the heel of my hand to push forward and then cupping my hands together to pull toward me. And then one other little thing that I am adding in here that's kind of interesting that you'll notice is that every time I do that, I'm turning the dough 1/4. And The reason for that little turn is that if I just kept kneading and kneading and kneading and not ever turning, then I'm gonna wind up with a log instead of a ball. So I wanna make a ball. Again, all those little pieces can get incorporated along the way. So I'm just gonna come up, push away, quarter turn. Come up, push away, quarter turn. And our yellow looks beautiful. So I'm gonna move on to purple now. We have our purple just finishing up those last few kneads, and that color really comes out beautifully. And I'm just going to wrap that in a sheet of plastic, same as my yellow. And then these two need to rest for about 30 minutes just to sort of let them relax a little bit and make them softer and easier to work with. We are going to make a couple of different pasta shapes. So the first one I wanted to make called farfalle, and farfalle just means butterflies in Italian. So you can probably picture what this shape is going to look like just from hearing that. So I'm just going to take off a little bit of purple dough and a little bit of yellow dough. I usually suggest that people work with about ping pong ball size pieces of dough. So we laminated our dough, and I have both of the pasta colors here. I have the yellow, and I'm gonna make stripes out of the purple. I have these tagliatelle strips of pasta here. I'm just gonna lay them right in front of the yellow pasta sheet there. Then I'm gonna use a little bit of water and a paintbrush just to get a little bit of moisture on what I'll be calling the base sheet here, so that when I affix the stripes, so the purple pasta to the top, it has something to stick to. So I'm just gonna go one by one and take my stripes and go from end to end, and everywhere where I put water down, I'll just make sure to kind of press those stripes onto the pasta dough, like so. So I'm gonna lay my stripes about 1/4 inch apart. I'm gonna go all the way down that pasta sheet. And the next important thing is just to cut these edges here. So we have our stripes fully laid down and adhered there to the base sheet. And then if you're using a rolling pin at this point, you can just roll completely out with a rolling pin until it is nice and thin, or you can put it back through the pasta machine. Do remember to start about on the middle width setting when you put it back into the pasta machine. You don't want to start on a real thin width, otherwise you risk tearing this pasta sheet. So start on about a middle width setting. Now that is about as thin as we want our pasta. Next up, we are going to cut this into the farfalle shape. So in order to do that, I'm just going to lay the pasta down like this, and then I want to make mine like traditional farfalle, and so that means that the edges, the side edges here, are fluted. So I have this fluted cutter here. A lot of times people will have a fluted pie wheel, or they make specifically one for pasta like this. By fluted, I mean it just has these sort of jaggedy edges. And so I'm gonna cut one down the center, and it's really helpful to have the stripes because it actually gives me sort of a guide as to where to cut my pasta. And then a second one down the side like that, and then a third cut just like that. And then I'll pull those sides off. And then with my straight cutter, I'm just gonna come along like this and cut these into sort of rectangles. So a real easy sort of size to remember is lengthwise, they're about 2 inches, and shorter crosswise, they're about 1.5 inches. I want to show you sort of our pinching technique for how we turn these beautiful striped sheets of pasta into little butterflies, little farfalle. So here we go. So I'm going to put my thumb in the bottom center, my pointer finger in the direct center, and my middle finger is gonna wait right there for just a sec because it does have a job. I'm gonna come toward my pointer finger with my thumb, and then the second step is to come toward my pointer finger as well with that middle finger and pinch in the middle just like that. So I'm gonna show you a little bit faster now. 1, 2, 3, and pinch and pull together. And 1, 2, 3, and pinch and pull together. So look at those are so cute. If you boiled these right now, you would hit the water maybe 60 seconds. They really don't need any longer than that. And because they're so pretty, you can serve it with something really simple, just like a brown butter sauce. So gorgeous, so much fun. Love it. I wanted to pay a sort of homage to my very favorite Care Bear, and that is Cheer Bear. So we are going to make a rainbow out of pasta right now. So I have all my colors laid out in front of me. You'll notice that the yellow is a little bit bigger, and that's because I'm going to use that, same as I did last time with the purple and yellow, as my sort of base sheet. So I'm going to roll these all out a little bit thin, and then we're going to squash them even thinner in the pasta machine. Now we've sheeted out every color of our Cheer Bear rainbow, and now I'm going to do the same thing with the farfalle and just cut all of the colors into strips except for the yellow, which I'm going to use as the base sheet. Alright, now we are ready to rock and roll. So I'm just going to use a little bit of water, especially on the ends here, so that those strips of pasta have something to adhere to. And then right there in the middle. And I'll start in my rainbow order, so starting with the red. So now, same thing, I'm going to trim the ends, and I'll also use my rolling pin along here. And then I'm going to stretch this out by putting it back through the pasta machine. So I'm now going to cut this pasta sheet. I've been putting it through lengthwise. I'm going to cut it so that I can do these final stretch outs, either with the rolling pin or with the pasta machine, so I can do them crosswise instead, again, so each strand of pasta will have the full rainbow. So we'll go back in, putting them in crosswise. We are going to cut these into pappardelle pasta noodles, so they're sort of like wide egg noodles. So I have my cutter on the machine. I'm just going to go straight through. There you have it, every single color of the rainbow represented in pasta, just like our friends, the Care Bears. I had so much fun being your guest camp counselor today. I'm Linda at Salty Seattle. You can find me on Instagram or other social media, and I'm here for all your colorful pasta needs. See you later.